Hey everyone, so today I'm going to show you how I press on tissue paper. For me, it's just one way that you can brand your business. So I know for like customers, my top-notch customers, or if they're trying to get their small business out or something like that, they're trying to brand their business, I would normally put their logo on the tissue paper. But for someone that's ordering just a gift to give to someone, or if you're ordering blanks for me, I'll have my logo on it. So it's just one way that I like to make my brand stand out from the rest. So it's pretty easy, and we're working in Silhouette Studio. So I'm going to show you how to create the design in Silhouette Studio, and then I'm going to show you how I press it. All right, so I have my logo here, and I want it smaller. So I'm just going to click and drag it to a nice size wherever I think it should be. Now for here, I want to fill my, make my workspace the size of my tissue paper, which is 20 inches by 20 inches. So I'm going to go to my page setup, and I'm going to make my space. I'm going to put the machine on none, and cutting mat will automatically change to none. So I'm going to make my width 20, my height 20, and that's going to give you a workspace of 20 by 20. So I'm just going to select my image and place it here. Now that it's here, what I want to do is I want to go to Object, Replicate, and Fill Page. What this is going to do is it's going to fill the entire page of your logo as it sees fit. Well, as much as can fit on that one page. Now for me, this is way too much on the tissue paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete every other row. So I'm going to hold down, click my mouse and click and drag that every other row, the second row. Hold down Shift so that way I can click the fourth row and the sixth row. And then I'm going to hit delete, and that's getting better, but it's still too close here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the last one and hold down Shift and my right arrow key and just space it out some. So now I'm going to select this entire row, and I'm going to space it horizontally. And we're still under our transform panel. Let's see. That may be still too much for me, so now I'm just going to delete this last row. Okay. And I'm going to highlight this, all three of these, so I can line it up with this last one. And I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to align it to the right. Oh shoot, I didn't highlight it. Highlight it and then align it to the right, my bad. All right, so now let's take this row over some more, and you can space it out however you see fit. Okay, so I'm going to highlight the first row, and I'm going to space it out horizontally, and that'll work for now. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Each row you have to click individually. Now I want to offset it some so that way this will be in the middle of this. So I'm going to do this row and the last row. So click, hold down Shift, and click and drag this row. So I'm going to hold down Shift, click my right arrow key until I think it's in the middle where I want it. And that'll work for me. So now I want to hold down Shift, click everything, right click, hit Group. And I want to center this in that 20 by 20 space. So now I just, since I have this selected, I'm going to go here to center. And it's now in the middle of my workspace. So that'll work for me. Right, so I'm going to be working with the 11 by 17 paper, sublimation paper, Craft and Besties, of course. And I'm going to click and drag. And remember I said go to your transform panel on the right, scale, select 11 by 17, and hit apply. And because when it prints, it doesn't print all the way around the border, I'm going to do an internal offset. And you go over here to your offset panel, internal offset, and that gives you that space in between there. that's the space that it won't print on. So instead of using the 11 by 17 template, I'm going to use this one, the internal offset. And you could use a 13 by 19 sheet, but that would give you more coverage. But I have a 16 by 20 heat press, so I only want to press it once. So that's why I'm using my 11 by 17 paper. Okay, so I lined it up with the edge here. And then I am going to hit object. Well, I have my rectangle selected. Hit object, replicate to the right. Okay, and now I'm going to, since this right one is selected, I'm going to hit shift and hold down your right key, and that's going to overlap it. And this is basically for when you're going to marry your two pages together, so that way you have it's one, and it will fit on your sheet. Okay, so we have that selected, and what I'm going to do is highlight, click and drag both of them, group, click and drag my logo as well as the grouped sheets, and I'm going to go to what is it, align, transform panel, and I'm going to hit center. So now that my logo is in the center of my paper. And actually I want it to be, I want to have this down, so I change it. I want to have that down, so when I press it, the top front part, all of my logo will be on the sheet instead of like cut off at the top. Okay, all right, so we have it centered in here. Now I can move this to the side, and what I want to do is save it as a JPEG. So you want to select this, and you want to go to File, Save Selection, Save to Hard Drive, and then you just save it as whatever you want to name it as. So I went ahead and brought in my JPEG, and I'll move this one to the side. That's the original, and my JPEG comes in like this, so it's already on a white border for you. And I'm just going to place it on top of my internal offsets. Now let me send this to the back. So I'm going to right click, hit send to the back, and now we can see what's going on. All right, it looks like a lot of the last row won't be in it, but that is absolutely fine. Or I can shrink it some. Alright, so there you go. And that's what it's going to look like. And again, the reason why we have two of these boxes is because we're going to use two sheets. This is too big to put on the sublimation sheet that I have anyway. So now we can ungroup. If I can grab it, grab the hold. Whenever you can't select the outline, just highlight all of it, hold down shift, select the area that you don't want, and now you can get to what you're trying to get to. So I hit ungroup. Now we have both. And how many ever pages that you have on your screen, that's how many of these 11 by 17 sheets we want to, pictures we want to copy. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So you want to select all of them. So that's one sheet, that's two sheets. I want to hit object, replicate below. So now we have two of the same thing because we have two sheets. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight just the first rectangle and my entire image, which is going to select the JPEG, and then I'm going to go to crop, go modify panel, and then hit crop. You see how it deleted all of this? And let me zoom in. You see how this page is now in here? This section will now be on your other page, so that way you're going to overlap your other page and it should line up perfectly. All right, so we can get rid of this. Now we need the right side, so we're going to select our rectangle on the right and then select our JPEG and hit crop, and we have both. We can get rid of this, and you see how it's going to overlap to be perfect. Now whenever you're sublimating, you want to always mirror, so I'm going to select both, object, mirror, flip horizontally. Then I'm going to go back to my page setup, and I'm going to change it back to 11 by 17 because that's what size paper we're using. And I'm going to just place this in the middle. Place one sheet at a time. And if you can't see the outside, just select that. Go to transform and center. And it'll center it in that page, the middle of that page for you. So I'm going to go ahead and print out, do both pages. I'm print out both pages. And then we'll go ahead and put these together and go ahead and press. All right, I have my butcher paper on the bottom. And I have my next layer, which is my tissue paper. And then I have my Craft and Besties paper. So now I want to add butcher paper on the top. And this is always to protect your machine, because depending on what material you're using, it will get on your heat press. Don't let anybody fool you and say you don't need butcher paper. You do need some type of covering, depending on what material you're using. So I let that press for 400 degrees, 60 seconds. 2 seconds left. All right, and here we have it. And you see why I said use butcher paper on the bottom. Yes, there are some cases where you don't need it, but this is definitely one of those cases you do need it, because how thin the tissue paper is. So there it is. I have my box that I'm going to place my items in. I have my tissue paper that I've already sublimated on, and I'm going to kind of just lay it in there. And you can place your items in there. Here's some other things that I pressed on, like a wine bottle holder that holds the 2 glasses on the side. And yes, this is where I'm from. So this is a nice little thing to make for visitors. I have the keychain I'm going to place in there. Bottle can opener, not can opener, can koozie, should I say. And my daughter took pictures of downtown Charleston, and I used her photos on this. And I also have like a little hand towel. So you can use different things for your brand if you want to give away certain items. So I'm just going to pack that in there. Oh, and I did do a shot glass. So any of these items that you guys see me do, please let me know if you want me to do a tutorial on it. And I will be glad to help you with it. Okay. All right, so now I'm just going to fold both sides in of my tissue paper. Fold that part in, and then I can definitely, I'm trying to do this upside down, y'all. Put this here, and I also have like a sticker that I can close it out with. So let me take this off. So there's so many different ways you can put your logo on. And I just want to close it shut. So you can do it like this, and of course this is a bigger box, so That's why it's not filling it in. But if I had a smaller box for these items, then that would have been perfect. So all you have to do is just pretend like it's filled up. Use your tissue paper and then close it up. And there you go. There you have your branded tissue paper. All right, so like I said, if you have any questions and you need help with anything, anything at all, silhouette, I'm here for the beginners. If you need help, just let me know. And question, what are some things that you put inside your packaging that helps your brand stand out? Let me know in the comments. All right, bye.